So, have you developed any new habits in 2020? Good or bad habits? I know that just like me, many of you have spent most of this year in the house, and all of this extra time at home may have encouraged you to start new businesses, new side hustles, switch careers, pick up new skills and things like that. For me, this year being at home and just having more time, honestly, in this quarantine, has helped me to develop some new success habits that I feel directly correlate to my business success and my personal success, hence why I'm calling them success habits. So if you're interested in the 5 success habits I developed in 2020, 1, subscribe to this channel, 2, like this video, and 3, keep watching. So if you've been here for a while, you know that one of my favorite pastimes is reading. I have so many books, I could probably start my own library. I have probably 4 bookshelves at home, and then I have books around the house as decoration. However, if you're a reader, you may be able to relate. When you get really busy, sometimes it's hard to find the time or the energy to indulge in your favorite activity. So this year, when I noticed that my schedule was insane, particularly in the first quarter of this year, and I was really neglecting the things that I enjoyed and that fed me from an educational standpoint, I decided to develop a new habit. And this habit is reading for at least 10 minutes a day, no matter what. So that was my personal challenge, and I actually used habit tracker apps. I forget the one that I really like. I'll link it in the description box, but I used habit tracker apps to remind me every day to read for 10 minutes. And I typically would read right before bed, because when I get in bed, and maybe you can relate, I always grab my phone, do a little bit of scrolling, right? Maybe catch up on some YouTube before I go to sleep. So now I'm like, if you have 10 minutes to scroll through Instagram, you have 10 minutes to read a book. So I would read either on the Kindle app, or I would just keep a book by my bedside by the lamp, and that actually changed everything. I found that I just continued to get new insights that sparked new ideas. Whenever I read new business books, I got a lot of ideas of how I wanted to proceed, things I wanted to change in my own business. When I read personal development books, I found myself feeling really inspired and motivated and doing consistent mindset work. And I found that it was rare that I only ever read for 10 minutes. Typically that 10 turned into 25, 30 minutes, etc. And basically what this was doing for me was, this was just me carving out time for my own self and for my growth. And if you are a coach or a manager or a leader or a parent or whatever else, you may spend a lot of your time pouring into other people. So this particular habit allowed me to pour back into myself. And I encourage you to consider doing the same. And I like the number 10 minutes because I felt like that was just something that was really easy, right? If you are someone who cooks dinner every night, this reading can be done while you're waiting on your dinner to get ready. It could be done on your commute. It could be done when, you know, maybe you are an Audible reader or an audiobook listener. You can do this, listen to a book while you're brushing your teeth and taking a shower, right? So starting off with 10 minutes just makes it really easy. But again, like I said, that 10 turns into 30, and it's really just a mindset thing. A lot of times we think we don't have time for something, but in real life we do. It's just we don't have the energy to put into it. So the first success habit, reading for at least 10 minutes a day. The second success habit, meditating every single day. Now, I'm no stranger to meditation. I've talked to you all about it before on my channel. But just like with the reading, what I found, and maybe we could talk about this in the description box or in the comment box, excuse me. What I found is that when you are stressed, when you have anxiety, right? When you have a lot going on, personal, professional, it is really easy to put all of the habits to the wayside that will actually help you, that will actually curb those feelings, that will actually help you to feel better and motivated and inspired and happy and relaxed and all of these things. So similar to reading, the next thing I did was making sure to meditate for at least 5 minutes every day. And I know 5 minutes is kind of like a laughable number, but if you are someone that's new to meditation, 5 minutes may be a lot. So don't look at it that way. Just get started, right? So meditating every day, this is something that I would actually do after I was done reading. So I would actually use the Insight Timer app just because I really prefer guided meditations, and I would just pick one and then put my phone down, face down on my bed, on my table next to my bed, because Insight Timer just kind of turns itself off once the meditation ends. It just like ends. So that was something that I was able to do as a signal that it's time for bed. So I would pick one that was between 5 and 15 minutes long, and because I was literally going to sleep, it didn't really matter, right? So meditation every day, I found, really helps me to just calm down inside from the day. So even if you don't think that, you know, something's wrong, sometimes, at least with me, like stress will build up internally and I won't feel it until it's like super massive and now I can't sleep at night. So this for me was a way of disconnecting and completely unwinding from everything that happened in the day, in the week, in society, right? So meditating every day, highly recommend. It's nothing like waking up in the morning and just feeling like you have a fresh start because you were able to clear your mind the night before. The third success habit I developed in 2020 is getting a hobby. So calling all business owners, okay, aspiring full-time entrepreneurs, it is really hard for your business to become your life. And the reason why is because you actually enjoy it, right? You love what you do. For many people, their businesses don't necessarily feel like work. It is work, but it doesn't really feel like it. And even when you are having challenges, it's just a different experience when it's your business. However, we do need some semblance of balance in our life, and balance doesn't mean 50-50 where everything is always going to get equal attention. There's definitely going to be times where something gets a little bit more attention, but it's really just thinking about what other things do you care about? What other things are you doing and experiencing outside of your business? So for me, I needed to get a hobby. Getting a hobby has been on my to-do list for like 3 years now, right? So actually the hobby that I picked up was planning and planner decor, and it came out of nowhere. It started off as me gifting myself my Louis Vuitton agenda for my birthday, and realizing, oh, I need to actually fill this up with paper and like decorate it. I'm so used to spiral bound planners. So I fell in a rabbit hole of watching YouTube planner videos and realized, oh, this was a whole thing, right? And you all have seen planner videos here on my channel. And what I found for me is I like to plan. Time management is like really my thing. But for me, the planner thing is not really about time management and organization, because I was organized before I had the nice fancy planners. For me, it's like a therapeutic release. It's just nice to disconnect and decorate my planner and find new dashboards and find new inserts and find different ways of organizing information. It's like just a release. I know I keep saying that, but it allows me to put my energy and attention into something else that just gives me joy. And there's like nothing on the other side. It's not like, oh, well, I'm hoping this is going to convert to sales, or I'm hoping I'm going to get clients, or I'm hoping I'm going to be able to do X, Y, and Z. It's just, I'm doing this because I enjoy it. It makes me happy, keeps me creative. And it actually helps that, you know, 2 of my 3 planners are related to business. So it still helps me with keeping my business organized, but allows me to have a creative outlet. So I definitely challenge you to get a hobby. The 4th success habit I developed this year is actually the habit of taking short breaks throughout the day. So I actually learned this through an Optimizing Your Energy class that I teach in my Google Digital Coach webinars, which you should totally come. They're free and linked in the description box. But we have one on energy management and time management. And there's this segment where we talk to you about what's called ultracadian rhythms. I might be saying the wrong word. I have to like put the correct one in the description box. But basically, our body needs to reset every 90 minutes to 120 minutes, right? And so basically, we need to reset through taking breaks. So if you're someone who just continues to consistently works, you may find yourself really fatigued, really drained, really not having energy. It may be the end of the day and you don't have the energy, or you don't feel like doing things you would otherwise enjoy, like maybe going to eat or doing your favorite hobby. That's because you burned yourself out. So basically what this science suggests is that if we follow our body's natural rhythms, we should take breaks every 90 minutes to 120 minutes. The length of the break does not matter. It's really about the quality of the break. So what I started to do was incorporate every 90 minutes taking a 10 to 15 minute break and completely disconnecting from work. So that meant no email, no social media, because for me social media is work. No email, no social media, no checking my not checking my personal phone, not my business phone, but just doing something that has nothing to do with business. And I would also disconnect on my lunch breaks, where I would literally turn on a TV show that I liked while having lunch versus working through it. And I found that it helps with keeping my energy up and me being able to be productive for way longer throughout the day, because I did take those breaks. So I definitely want you to consider trying that out. Again, the length of the break doesn't matter. It's about the quality of the break. So you could actually go and take a walk. You could call up an old friend. You can watch a TV show. You can dance. You can work out. You can sleep. You can do whatever you want, as long as it's not connected to whatever task you are working on or anything that's going to be remotely looking like work or business. So this fifth habit is one that's hard to condense into a short phrase, but the fifth habit is learning how to release what no longer served me. And not to get all deep here, but I was the kind of person who really had a hard time letting go. I had a hard time with cutting things off. I had a hard time with giving bad feedback. And this year I unfortunately had to replace 2 team members, and it was actually like literally in the same role. And these are great people from a human perspective, but they just weren't a good fit for the company and the role. And this is something that I knew way sooner than when the decision was made. And I found that it caused me a lot of stress. So this is something that I've had to learn. And like when I was thinking like, well, why is it such a big deal? Like it's a contracted role. It's not full time. Like, you know, what's the problem here? And then I started to reflect and journal on it. And it's like, well, you always had issues with this. You've had issues with separating yourself from people who weren't good friends. You've had issues with telling people, you know, maybe you didn't like your nails, or you didn't like your hair, or you didn't enjoy a service. Like that's something that I've always struggled with. So now, you know, a habit that I'm starting to build is releasing what no longer serves me. If a relationship isn't working, get out of it. If I don't like something, if there's a return policy, return it. If someone's not doing their role and it's causing me and my clients issues and stress, well, they gotta go immediately, and that's in the paperwork, right? So I just want to pass that on. If you've been holding on to people and roles, and even like one thing I released this year before I get into that was a contract that I had. There was a contract that I had for a number of years that I've never really talked about. It was a very small contract, doing work that I actually don't do in my business, but it was still social related. And I initially took it on as a favor to someone I really respected, and it was supposed to only be a year, and then it just kept going and going and going, and I wasn't enjoying it. It was taking up a lot of time. There was a couple of other little issues as the person who was initially there that gave me this role, like they've moved on. So it's just a lot happening, and I was really fearful about like saying no to this, even though, well, not saying no, but like leaving that position, even though it wasn't a money thing. It was really just like, I don't want to do this anymore. So I want to pass on, if you are, you know, doing volunteer stuff or doing stuff at work, or you have a job that you want to leave, or you have friends you need to leave behind, like I would challenge you to learn how to release what's no longer serving you. And you'll find that there's often mindset issues or mindset blocks that are tied to why you won't let this thing go. And if you are trying to be an entrepreneur and be in business, these mindset blocks that you're having with this thing that seemingly doesn't relate, it will trickle over into your business, and it will impact your business. So learn how to nip it in the bud. So meet me down in the comments box. Let me know what you thought about this video. What habits have you developed in 2020 that you want to share? I'll talk with you all down there. And again, make sure you subscribe to this channel. Talk to you soon.